The galaxy trembled beneath the banners of the Vorthan Empire. For centuries, no power had challenged its dominion. Hundreds of star systems paid tribute, millions of vessels bore its emblem, and its fleet stretched across sectors like a metallic tide. In their eyes, war was a predictable equation. They had formulas for invasion, subjugation, and control. Yet on a quiet blue world, orbiting an unremarkable yellow sun, a species had risen that defied equations. Humanity had never been invited to the galactic table. The Council had classified Earth as a low threat, its people deemed backward and fragmented. Their technology lagged by centuries. Their fleets insignificant compared to the hyperluminal dreadnoughts of the Empire. Reports said their armies still relied on projectiles and combustion engines, relics of a primitive age. So when the Vorthan scouts encountered human vessels near the Sol boundary, they saw an opportunity to demonstrate superiority. The first encounter was meant to be a display of dominance. A Vorthan cruiser, the size of a city, descended into the system, broadcasting demands. Humanity, instead of panicking, listened in silence. The cruiser's commander transmitted images of the Empire's might, boasting of planetary conquests. Then, without provocation, he ordered an orbital strike to encourage compliance. The beam lanced toward Mars, carving glass planes into the surface. The response came 3 minutes later. From the shadow of Jupiter, a formation emerged, small, almost delicate against the Titanic cruiser. They bore no imperial markings, no known design signatures. The Vorthan sensors dismissed them as unmanned probes. Then the first pulse struck. The cruiser's shields flared, dimmed, and shattered. Before the commander could react, his ship disintegrated, torn apart by kinetic impacts faster than light itself. The data captured only a single phrase from human channels: engagement complete. No survivors, the Empire laughed at first. One cruiser lost to an unknown weapon? Impossible. A statistical anomaly. They dispatched a fleet of 20 vessels to Sol, confident that numbers would restore order. That was the beginning of the panic. Weeks later, fragments of those vessels drifted through empty space. No distress signals. No survivors. Only encrypted echoes of something the Empire could not understand. The Council demanded answers. Scouts ventured deeper only to vanish beyond Neptune's orbit. Entire squadrons disappeared into the void. Rumors began to circulate through the fleets. Rumors of human ships that appeared and vanished like ghosts. Of energy signatures that bent the fabric of sensors. Of weapons that tore through phase shields as if they were mist. Commanders began to whisper about the silent front. When the Imperial High Command finally authorized a full-scale assault, the operation was codenamed Subjugation Dawn. They gathered the mightiest armada in recorded history, 5,000 ships, supported by dreadnoughts and planetary siege carriers. It was a force meant to annihilate worlds. Their strategy was simple: overwhelm Earth with sheer volume before its strange technology could respond. The fleet entered Sol space with the confidence of conquerors. Yet as they approached the third planet, they found no resistance. No defenses, no fleets, only silence. For 3 days they scanned, finding nothing but scattered debris and faint radiation traces. Then, without warning, every Imperial vessel lost communication for exactly 7 seconds. When systems returned, the navigational charts had changed. The stars were still there, but the fleet's relative position had shifted by several million kilometers. Panic rippled through command. The Admiral demanded explanations. None came. Moments later, the first human transmission arrived. "This is Fleet Command of the Terran Defense Network. You are trespassing in Sol jurisdiction. Withdraw immediately," the Admiral sneered. "Identify yourself. You are surrounded." "Negative," came the calm reply. "You are," sensors flared. From behind moons, asteroids, and the shadows of planets, hundreds of human ships decloaked. They were smaller than Imperial vessels, almost fragile in appearance. But their formations were perfect, precise, deliberate. Before the Empire could react, space itself twisted. A surge of gravitational energy erupted as human vessels unleashed their weapons. No one in the Empire had seen such firepower. It wasn't energy-based or plasma-driven. These were weapons that manipulated space-time itself. The first Imperial dreadnought collapsed inward, its mass folded to a singularity before vanishing entirely. The second vaporized under a kinetic burst that struck with the force of a planetary impact. The Admiral screamed for counterattack. Thousands of Vorthan ships fired in unison, turning the void into a storm of light. Yet the human vessels danced through it, their movements impossibly fluid. Each time an Imperial targeting system locked on, the human ships seemed to phase out of reality, reappearing meters away. Within minutes, the fleet's front line was gone, but then came something that froze the Empire's blood. The humans weren't pursuing total destruction. They were restraining their assault, holding back. Their strikes were surgical, measured. They disabled ships, disrupted communications, dismantled engines, but left command vessels intact. It was as if they were teaching a lesson. The Imperial Admiral finally ordered retreat, but the jump drives refused to engage. Human code had infiltrated their systems, rewriting their navigation algorithms in real time. The Admiral could only stare as the human fleet surrounded them in perfect silence. Then a single message was broadcast across all channels. "You haven't faced our main fleet yet." The word spread through the Empire like wildfire. Billions heard it. Billions feared it. The High Council convened emergency sessions. Panic rippled across sectors that had never known defeat. For the first time in generations, the Vorthan Empire recalled every ship from outer colonies. Systems once governed by fear now saw opportunity for rebellion. Intelligence divisions scrambled to understand humanity's capabilities. They discovered unsettling data. Human progress had not been slow, it had been deliberate. While the galaxy saw them as primitive, they had been evolving technologies hidden behind false signals and encrypted emissions. They had learned to fold dimensions, to weaponize gravity, to harness quantum resonance. Even more terrifying was their psychology. The Empire's analysts studied every transmission and battle log. They found no arrogance, no celebration of victory. Humans fought with quiet precision, without hatred or desperation. They fought as if it were inevitable. Empires thrive on predictability, and humanity was unpredictable in every sense. They adapted faster than any simulation projected. Every encounter, every skirmish, they learned. What began as defense had evolved into something far greater. The Terran Defense Network was only one branch. The main fleet mentioned in that haunting broadcast had never been sighted. Months later, the Empire's border worlds began losing contact. Patrol routes ended abruptly. Colonies found their planetary shields disabled from within. Ships reported being followed by shadows, energy signatures matching no known vessel. Then came the blackouts. Entire sectors went dark.